just your life is harder than everyone else's.
I don't know. I mean, life lately has just been this entire pendulum. It's one day of ecstasy and joy and stuff. Like, I got accepted into a student dorm. And at that point, obviously, like any other regular student, I jumped around in happiness and joy because somebody accepted that I'd live in their dorm, starting in autumn. But now I'm here, and I've been spending the last 10 minutes trying to figure out why I'm so stupid. But we're here now, so it doesn't matter.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well,
Yeah, totally,
so
totally.
interesting. Caps, I ask this question all the time. I would love to change it, but I can't think of any other questions. What's your favorite part about New York City?
About New York City, yeah, I knew this was gonna
Yep.
be the first one. I memorized them at this point.
Yep.
First of all, did we start the YouTube recording
Of course
or?
we did. We've started
Okay,
ages ago.
okay. Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, favorite part about New York City. I've learned this in the past few months is that you can't have a favorite part of a place like this because this is just that kind of situation where there's not too many people, there's not too much staff, there's not too much of anything. It all just connects together and it's a mix of everything. Not too much of anything, but just everything just falls into place. You can't point out to something especially brilliant
Yeah.
when everything just goes so smoothly. Ironically.
Okay. I'll take that. What's your favorite channel?
The lobby.
The
I think,
lobby. Okay.
yeah, this year the lobby has been the most unhinged channel the server has ever seen. I think.
Really? Okay. Is it
Yeah,
nominated for best channel? Let's see. It is
I
not. So
I
someone should
sure
do
hope
that.
it is.
Go do that right now. Go
I
into
literally will.
go
I
do that
literally will. Hold
right
up.
now for best overall channel.
Um.
Right
Okay, hold
now.
up.
Right now.
Literally
Why
right
aren't you
now.
doing it right now? Why isn't it happening right
I
this
am.
second?
Why can't you see?
Right this second. Why aren't you faster at this? Come on, Caps. Let's go. There we go. That took you way too long. You know it shouldn't take you long? Answering this next question. How gorgeous do I look today?
Of course, you look pretty. You could have done better with the hair, but you look pretty anyway. So
How dare you, you skank. With your one heli. That's not funny.
it's
Why am I
it's
laughing at you?
the heli. It's the heli.
With your one heli, you have a very, very small studio apartment, which is good because it's not a cardboard box. Wait, I think it's a studio apartment. Let me just double check what the qualifications are. I'm pretty sure one heli equates to. I have a chart by the way that's pinned in
Yeah, I
the round
know.
table
I
for
sometimes look at it.
everyone who
I
knows.
sometimes look at it when I'm too bored.
Teeny studio apartment, so like a closet basically. So how's your closet?
I mean, like anything else in my life, it's jam-packed full of everything, and nobody other than myself can find anything in there. But I have everything I need, and that's all that matters.
Okay. Let's talk about the cryptids. Is there any way to stop them?
I am not going to lie to you. I have not been keeping up with the cryptids this year.
That's good. They're scary. Don't look at them. You shouldn't be looking at them.
I
Don't look at
mean,
them.
I
Don't
I
look
was
at them.
kind of I was kind of reading the messages, but it's not like I'm that kind of person who understands anything
Ever.
just the
Just
first time they read
anything.
it. So,
Just anything. Caps never understands anything. Um,
oh,
let's
wow, wow.
nothing at all.
I mean,
That's
it's
right.
a
I'll
worrying
testify
fact
twice.
that you're not the first person to tell me this week. So,
Wow. Also, shout
yeah,
out to
exactly.
our new member Sunny, who's in chat right now. This is our podcast,
Shout out to
everyone.
Sunny.
Hi,
Welcome.
Sunny. And Arthur. So let's talk about last year's Hellies, 2024. Um,
2024 and 2025. So, from a Heli perspective, I'm not gonna lie to you, neither last year nor this year did I have any expectations of doing anything. So I started this year very strong. I was like, I'm gonna get Chatterbox and I'm gonna get Best RP character and a whole bunch of other stuff, and I'm gonna get back my photography award and whatever. First of all, photography has been strong as hell. We're 2 full months into this. The third one has just started. We've already had, I think, 3 potential winners. We're not even a fifth of the way through the year. We're already there.
You know what my favorite telltale sign that I know that someone is not going to win any Hellies or get a lot of nominations is when they start the year by saying, "I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna be in every single channel. You're gonna get sick of me." It happens every single year. You know who's the biggest offender of that? Jesse. Jesse loves at the start of the year to be like, "I'm gonna have 800 nominations. You're never gonna. My name is gonna be everywhere." Then we get to the end of the year, and Jesse's like, "I haven't been here in 4 months." Um, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was actually a prospect for the first week or two. It was actually going well, but I think it's about time that Caps realizes that there's life outside of Discord, and I think the war. So my war with procrastination is still very much ongoing, and some battles I'm losing, some battles I'm winning. But I think it's about time that Caps figures out, no matter how many Hellies I could win, the biggest win of this year would be getting into my dream university, and that can't just be done by ignoring everything and focusing on the online stuff. So,
this also happens all the
um,
time. Is that we will get members. This is the trap of getting members before they go to college because between the
yeah,
ages of 13 to 17, those are the best Hellions. Between those
yeah.
ages, it's like they're great because they have nothing else to do. They go home, they get on Discord, they do the stuff.
Well,
And then
I would argue with that. I would argue with that. I would say that 2020 caps was way worse than the current caps. I would definitely say that the, let's call it pre-event caps, it was way worse than the after-event caps, and I actually like how I've matured into a semi-fully grown individual. But I can agree that from an activity perspective, the teenage years are the best ones.
fair enough. Let's talk about last year's Hellies. You were nominated 3 times. This is going to be a quick episode. I love it. You're nominated.
It always is with me. Last year it was like 40 minutes or
I
something.
love it. Um, you were
I,
nominated
I
three.
kind of do, and yeah.
Trust me, the shorter episodes are. Listen, when I interview Dio, the episodes are like 4 hours long. So, um,
Yeah, and Aragorn as well.
oh,
Kind of the same
kind
thing.
of. Actually, our keeps his helis pretty low. His heli count is usually around 7 or 8.
Yeah, his highly count is low, but trust me, I sometimes binge listen to the podcast like when I'm walking my way to high school. Like 60% of the episode is just you laughing hysterically.
He's very funny.
So
He's very funny.
so it feels like it feels like it's very long.
You're
But
nominated.
yeah.
You were nominated for Lucille Academy for best role play cast. Do you remember your character in Lucille Academy?
Was I even in there?
Apparently, you were.
I don't have any semblance of that at all. Just look at literally.
Apparently, you were in it. Apparently, you were in it. I don't know what to tell you. I guess you don't remember it all, but
Wait, I need to remind myself of the plot. That's how
all
I
right.
zoned out I am.
Let me find out where you were. Lucille Academy. This is so hilarious. I've never had a Hellion completely forget something that they did.
Yeah, I have zero idea what. This is March of 2024. What?
What were you? Let me see if I
How
can
old is
find
this?
the characters. Are the characters pinned or no? Are they in the threads? Where were they? Lucille Academy. Character
Lucid Academy is
sheets.
just archived. I mean,
Yeah, your character's name was. I'm about to find it. I'm about to find it. I'm about to find it because you were later in the thing. It's gonna happen. God, there are a lot of characters.
oh, I remember it.
Did you find it, or did you just remember it?
No, I found it. I searched for it.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us about your character. Do you remember anything about them?
What in the world? This was a year ago?
Did you hit your head or something? Did you like get into a car accident? What happened to you?
Math, math happened, I guess. I don't know. I thought this was like 3 weeks ago. This was very recent. I thought this was part of my 2025 nominations.
Oh yeah, this happened in oh weird. No, this is 2024. Okay,
Yeah.
2024. You
This
post your
was last year. What in the world?
yeah, you post your character in February of 2024. Hak Hakan.
Hakan.
Yeah,
Hakan, yeah.
yeah. I guess you remember nothing about them.
Wait, this is the RP that Jesse used to run,
No,
right?
this is Max's RP. This is great.
What is going on with
Yes.
Caps? Holy
No
crap.
idea. Well, safe to say Caps doesn't remember anything about it, and it's okay because you lost. You lost the award anyway. Don't worry about it.
Last place, one vote. Let's go for it. No, or even zero votes, since I don't remember anything about it. Maybe I didn't even vote for it.
You actually were in fourth place. So, Sin
Out
City,
of how many?
Sin City won. So there was, let me see, there was 8 nominees. You're up against Truly Yours, Plasma Isle, Sin City, Murdoch Mansion, Seven Sins, Alien Annihilation, and Grimm's Realm. So
Wait, let me get this straight. I was in the top half of a heli that I forgot existed.
yep,
I'll take that as a win. I'll
yep.
take that.
There
I'll
you
take
go.
that as a complete win.
There you go. There you go. You were also nominated for best unedited photography piece for Beach View. I would say, do you remember this? But I'm guessing that you probably don't.
I actually do. I actually do because I actually hoped it would do just as well as Moonlight Shuttle, and my hopes were just smacked into pieces. So I don't know. I expected it to be pretty high in the
Interesting.
in the
Uh,
votes.
what can you tell us about this piece? I'm about to post it in chat now.
This was, I mean, with like most pieces I take, except for Moonlight Shuttle, this was pretty sudden. I was just taking a stroll on the beach with the family, and I was like, I'm gonna hide behind this tree that's fallen, and I'm gonna take a shot. And I was like, okay, this looks very nice, actually.
So you're up against pieces by Consistently Depressed, Pancake, Mariah, Gloria, Jesse, Elihu, Ray, Sayori, Kermit, Daisy, Lucy Buns, Maya, Anub123, King Arthur, Ivy, Max, and Jax. And you lost to a three-way tie, which has never happened before in the Hellies. So at least you lost to an iconic win. And there are 18 nominees. Do you want to guess where you placed?
Uh, 17th, 2 votes.
18th, dead last. We're
I
back. We're back.
even 17th.
Nope, someone got one more vote than you. So there you go. How's it feel to be back in last place, Caps?
Home sweet home,
There you
baby.
go. Home
Home.
sweet home. That's it. Back in last place.
That's the spirit. Yeah, for this year, actually, I think I'm just going to be part of the best RP cast. I think this is going to be the only heli this year because
We're not there yet, Caps. We'll get there. We'll get there. We're still in 2024.
I'm trying to skip past all
I
the
know you are.
humiliation.
I know, and I'm not going to let you because you did it. You did it. You turned this in very, very late. I think like the day of, or the day before the cutoff. Um,
Yeah. Because I was like, I'm going to turn in whatever I can
best
to get some
digital,
more nominations.
best digital art piece for the Tree of Sorrow. Tell us about this piece.
So this is part of an actual folder I have on my remarkable tablet kind of thing, which I normally use at school for like all the notebooks and stuff. Whenever I'm just dead bored and I have absolutely nothing to do, which doesn't happen anymore, but it used to, I would just hop on and use the like 3 or 4 colors that the tablet is capable of to just draw whatever. And this was a tree that I drew between two Romanian classes that were about a very depressing poem. So I just had a shot at a very depressing piece, and it's safe to say it worked.
So, what place do you think you got? So you're up against pieces from Dio, Maride, Willow, Mika, Masamoyed, Pancake, Max, Consistently Depressed, Maddie, Jesse, Baitez, Squib, Blue, Gamma Cruchador, Vel, Tau, Kisei, Naziro, Noden, Kermit, and Daisy. 22 pieces.
Yeah, here I have way less help because I just know I'm just horrible at art fundamentally, regardless of how expressive my art may be. It's
Well, I respect
it's
that.
never gonna amount to the others. So dead last,
Dead
one
last.
vote, I'd say. I'd say I
Dead
didn't forget
last.
about it.
Dead last. Did you vote for yourself? Do you always vote for yourself?
I always do, unless I forget about the heli. I always vote for myself just for like consolation.
There you go. Nice. Well, you lost to Dio, so that's good. That's so funny
Yeah.
because Dio's the first person nominated, and you're the last one. So it was like first to last. There you go.
Okay. Wow.
All right, we've your humiliation ritual has ended. Um, now we will. Oh, first I have questions before that. What hellies did you lose this past year that you wish you hadn't?
Well, photography, I guess, but realistically, I didn't really expect anything, and yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about your 2025 heli
hmm.
nominations. Um, let's see. So far, you have been nominated 5 times. Okay. All right. Um,
Yeah, that was about my guess. I'm not gonna lie.
so your
That
first
was about where I
nomination
thought it was.
is for best roleplay character, and you have a couple from the colonies.
Of course I do.
Ooh. So for those who don't know, the colonies is my RP, which is the second installment of four, technically, well, four in a side story, whatever. Um, for the Cyberpunk Chronicles, and we are now in the New York City area, and or the New York area really, and synthetics are taking over the area, and organics are second class citizens. Organics being humans, synthetics being androids, and yeah, Cap's joined. Can you tell us about Michi?
So, Michi. So the first thing I noticed about Michi is that she's not really the fan favorite of the. And initially it was kind of upsetting because part of, or like a solid part of Michi was built on my character and how I am as a human in the outside world. So when I saw the backlash, I was like, I'm gonna play into it, but hopefully I learned something. I learned a lesson from this because it was not a good reception.
I think Michi was
um,
just very like Michi was very particular and outspoken. There you go. That's what it was.
yeah, she was. Michi is the epitome of great idea, horrible execution. Uh,
Where is Michi now? What do you think? What do you think happened to her?
I have no idea because I just kind of abandoned RP a few weeks ago in my attempt um to go to war with procrastination. So
Well, she.
I have no idea where either Michi or Julian are.
Well,
Julian, that's how you pronounce it. Julian. Just to keep that in mind.
you and Michi ended up being a huge catalyst for a big story point.
Oh God.
Even in her absence, which is great. Have I told you about this? Do you know about this?
No, you haven't told me about either of the characters and
So
how they ended up.
so Michi, so Len. Do you remember Len, who was the
Yeah, the owner of the
sure.
Rocket Pop.
Um, and so he was Len, my character Len, was becoming more, I guess, racist. I don't know what it's called, against
Yeah,
against
basically.
synthetics, prejudice against synthetics. We'll go with that. And and so he ended up joining a resistance group that was anti-synthetic and pro-organic,
Oh
and
Lord.
Len kind of went rogue, and
What happened with the trial? Because that's the point where you lost me. The like Jolene was
oh,
gonna
it's
be
happening.
put on trial.
It's happening right now. But then
Oh,
Len put out a hit on Michi essentially. So Len linked up with a assassin and
oh God.
and put out a hit on Michi, and the assassin either purposefully or accidentally misunderstood and kidnapped Jolene's father, and that set off the chain of events of Jolene assassinating the Kelsey boy because she thought she heard that the Kelsey guy kidnapped her dad. What actually happened, which has been revealed, was that the synthetic is able to change his face. So the synthetic essentially used his facial technology when he got photographed leaving the Adirondacks with Jolene's dad. So Jolene
Hmm.
had a case of mistaken identity and killed a man who did not actually harm her father. And it's all because of
Hmm.
Michi. Well, technically, it's all because of Len, but you know.
Yeah.
And then tell us about Julian.
Okay.
Julian. Tell us about this gay. This gay.
So this guy was like, first of all, I personally liked Julian way more than I did Michi. And it was kind of my attempt to combine the RP and me trying to get back into RPing seriously with me trying to play the role of a German speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why he was an immigrant. That's why he used to have like I think one or two monologues I gave him. I wrote like one or two paragraphs that were like Discord was like you reached the limit of characters. Like that's how long they were. And I wrote them half in German and half in English as a translation. This was kind of for practice, for me to practice my German, but in a really kind of unique way. So yeah, I mean, I liked him. I liked the fact that he was a constant worker. He kind of tried to do anything for the family, a pretty poor family. But I'm very curious to know what happened to Julian.
Yeah. So out of this folder, which do you hope wins from your folder? So between the two characters.
Julian,
Okay.
the thing about it is normally I'd root for whoever has the biggest chance, and I'm almost convinced that Michi has the better chance, the bigger chance, just because she was more exposed to the story. Julian didn't make as many character connections as Michi did.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of expect Michi to win, but if it's just like personality based, I really hope Julian goes through.
You're also nominated for Best Roleplay Cast twice for both Cyberpunk Chronicles offerings this year, The Colonies and No Orleans, A Swamp City Story. Um, I remember your Swamp City Story character was the older guy who lived with the two young girls, which is so funny.
Oh God, it's oh Lord, yeah, it
Yes.
was.
You
So
died? You died,
I
right?
kind of pitched it like a weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Satoyama, yeah.
Yes. I think he died. I forgot how he died, but I think he did die.
I
Um,
think he like tried to fight whatever kind of
that's
monster
right.
there was,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That's right.
he was really that successful.
So you're up against Bloodhaven, Stellar Bound, and I Was Made to Hit in America. Do you think either of these roleplay casts have a chance of winning? And if so, which one? And next question is, which do you hope wins of your nominees?
So honestly, I think we have a shot at it just because of how popular the colonies were. Like everybody, so everybody who's a regular in NHC either participated in the colonies in some way, shape, or form, or has heard about the colonies at least once. I think like you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the colonies was the RP with the biggest spread out into the community out of any RP we've ever had.
Hmm.
Now, this might not be true, but I think it is. I think the colonies is just so popular, everybody's just heard of it, that it's gonna take a lot for it to be taken out.
I agree. I agree. I'm so curious how, because we're going to be launching the rest of the Cyberpunk Chronicles. I wonder if this will like thin out the votes, because that's what happened with this. Famously happened in 2020 when I did the CVs, and everyone
Yeah,
was
the entire
so
series.
ever so Sevens ended up winning best cast, and everyone was so shocked. And Dio was like, "Yeah, because everyone there were 12 different RPs, and everyone had their favorites, so it thinned out the votes, and then Seven Sins ended up winning." I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." So we'll see how this goes. It'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting if there's a tie between two Cyberpunk Chronicles RP casts, because that means someone will win twice, and that's never happened before. So
Hmm.
it'll be interesting. Um,
Yeah.
you were nominated for best unedited photography piece for what is this called? I have it. It is called Powdered Clouds. Do you remember this off the top of your head while I grab it?
No, absolutely not. I don't.
Well, you really did bump your head. Um,
Yeah, yeah, probably.
so I'm gonna post it in chat right now. Also, hi Pilot Jack. Powdered Clouds right here in chat. Tell us about this piece.
Oh, so sometimes when I walk my way to school, I just happen to take some kind of photos because we live near a small lake nearby, and so my so the road that heads towards my high school includes a bridge that goes over the lake. And sometimes, depending on how I synchronize with the sunrise and whatever, it's actually pretty scenic.
Okay.
So I always like to look at the clouds um as the most underrated form of photography. Unless they look a very specific way, I don't think they're considered enough for this kind of titles and awards and stuff.
I will say, in my humble opinion, I've only just been doing the helis for what, 7 years. I think this has a way better chance of winning than last year's piece.
Yeah,
I
totally.
think it's a way better
And
chance.
the thing is, this is why I still have my hopes high, is that it's already established almost 99%, unless I'm somehow royally mess up my finals, which is hopefully not gonna happen. Unless that happens, there's a 99% chance I move to Austria. And
Ooh.
the thing about Austria is that I know at least five lakes in Austria near a mountain range where a sunset or a sunrise could look way better.
Ooh, okay. Well,
Like the
that's
lake is
interesting.
so flat, but then right across the lake, you can see a little town, and then there's these huge mountains with some very nice peaks, and it all just looks pretty scenic. I actually took some photos. I think I nominated in like 2022 some photos taken from those peaks. But yeah, and that's why I have my hopes high because I know um Austria is a very scenic country.
Not you fat shaming the lake. Anyway, so moving on, you have best combined quote with Colonel Maya Caps and
Oh
myself.
yeah. Oh Lord. Oh
Um,
God.
I said, Cody, let's avoid crazy. Amani, oh hi, and then
Oh
Colonel said,
hi.
Amani said, I heard my name, and then Maya said, Amani, I said something. Caps, why am I laughing by us reading a scene that in absolutely no way influences my character even the slightest? And I said, I did not anticipate the comedy that's been happening in this RP at all. Fire, make a dark, gritty RP about classism and liberal woes. Cast twirls in the streets. I remember what this is about. This is when they met Exia, and they're like just being goofy.
Yeah, I wasn't this. It was earlier in the series,
Yeah,
right?
very early. They just like they
Yeah, very early when like when you serve the money like when the interview happened and you serve the money that dish with like that weird thing on top. I don't remember. She was just Mia was just freaked out by it. Uh, I, I don't remember what it was exactly, but
It's great. It's great. So how many Hellies do you want to win this year?
um so want
Or sorry,
is
not want. How many? Not how many. I read it wrong. Which Hellies do you want to win this year? That makes more sense.
okay, so RP cast, I think I have a shot in just because I happened to land in a very popular heli. Um, and I'm still gonna keep my hopes high for photography. I don't have a lot of hope. I'm not gonna be like traumatized if I miss out on it, but I'm gonna keep my hopes high for either Powdered Clouds or whatever Austrian scenic thing
We have
to take the win. But
we have four cast members from the colonies. We can do this. Arthur's in here.
yeah,
Kai's in here. You're in here. I'm in here. It's happening. If you want to win a heli, join the colonies. One more
yeah.
quality to talk.
Photography honestly is a very, very tough competition this year. So I'm gonna keep my hopes high, but I'm gonna call it right now. Ray's gonna win it. I'm
Okay.
almost convinced those rocks or whatever were just gorgeous, and I think it's going to take a lot to find something more gorgeous than just the lighting in the moment that Ray caught was just so amazing that you need a lot of it's not just skill but also luck. You need to be in the right place at the right time to get like a winning photo. Even Moonlight Shuttle, it was the right place at the right time. So yeah, it's always challenging. The photography is always challenging unless you do the editing afterwards, which is its own very intense category. But unedited photography always comes out with some amazing bangers, and I still have a bit of shock that Moonlight Shuttle went on to win. But
How,
yeah.
how many do you think you'll win? How many helis?
Okay, think between 0 and 1.
Okay.
Um,
That's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. I really think that it's gonna take a lot to beat the Colonies cast. I really do.
That's right.
Because everybody's just so diverse. On one hand, you have Len and Jolene and all the rebellion. On the other hand, you have all the synthetics. You have like not necessarily Michi, but oh God, I
There's
forgot Swift's character
Meredith,
name.
Meredith, and Jesse's Derek, and
Yeah,
Stone.
there we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
Meredith. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
so everybody's just so diverse. It's going to take a lot to take the colonies down.
That's right. All right. Who hasn't won a heli yet? Who should win, or who has won a certain category? Who hasn't won a certain category that you think should win? And if you need some refreshers on who has and hasn't won, I will help you out.
No, 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 because I already have um I think it's a somewhat controversial opinion, but I'm gonna roll with it.
Okay.
Um I think Hama should get Master Debater this year.
I don't think that's that controversial. I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I don't know, because
I could see that.
at this point, it's tradition for Ara to just get voted by everybody who just wasn't around enough to actually notice who would deserve it and who wouldn't. It's just default to just go Ara.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. So that's why I could see Hama win. Hama is very active in all these so debate slash political stuff. I've actually gotten myself a bit into politics as well, and I'm kind of shocked by that because I'm not a really political person or like politically oriented, but
There you go.
I got myself into some discussions. So yeah, Hama. Um, if the Kellys would be voted on today, I would vote Hama for Master Debater, but we'll see how the rest of the year will go
Okay.
because there's still a lot of time for things to be changing.
Who has too many Hellies?
Um,
Answer this wisely.
uh, Again, we're gonna go down the controversial side, and this will be controversial. I can guarantee you that. I think uh Swift has um
Interesting.
yeah, I
That
would
is
go for Swift
controversial.
on this one too. Yeah, it is controversial because on one hand, you and you have the most helis, but you're kind of the pillars of the server. Like if if I was to ask to make a poll and to say like who is the fundamental one most important member of NHC, I think it would be a showdown between you and Dio and maybe Coda. Maybe. But I think the showdown would be between you and Dio, and so that's why I'd say your number of Helis and Dio's as well is very justified. But then I'd go further down down the numbers, and I'd say apart from writing, which I could see Swift winning consistently, meh. I mean, right. Uh,
Wow. Okay. This is we've been getting some very
uh,
interesting answers. Um, uh,
yeah. So
Max
when it
said
comes to
Max said Dio. Max said Dio has too many Hellies.
Max, the thing is, it's very easy. It's very easy to just go either Dio or Fire just because of the total amount. And so that's why I'm trying to think out of the box because in the end, the server doesn't just mean Dio and Fire. There's other people who have won a lot of Helis who, on one hand, are underrated because nobody thinks of them this way, but who, on the other hand, um, focus way more. Let's put it this way: Swift focuses way more on the writing and general activity side of things,
Hmm.
and so that's why I'm saying the writing Kellys are very justified, and she deserves them all, but um that's kind of her main focal point, and everything else is just, I don't know.
Okay. I think the
I'm
dark
trying
horse.
to think outside of the box for these answers because I want to give some unique answers that could eventually spark a conversation. I like sparking conversations out of nowhere.
The
It's kind
dark
of my thing.
the dark horse is CD because CD like just quietly gets tons of Hellies and is in third place. So it's interesting.
How many helis does CD have?
26. So I have 42. Dio has 39.
No,
CD has
no, they
26.
don't. No, he does. No, he doesn't.
He does
No.
26 Hellies. Um, and
I
Swift has
could have
19 and
sworn
Nalam has
I
18.
could have sworn it's like 15.
No,
I could have sworn it's 15. Okay,
he has 26 Hellies. So the way that CD gets them is food. CD always clears up in food, and CD's been getting most inspirational member every year basically,
yeah,
and
I think that's kind of, yeah.
it used to be art. What really got him started was he used to win all the art awards. So
Yeah, that I didn't remember
yeah,
or
he
something, but
was he's
yeah,
inspired.
inspiration remember and stuff, I could
Yeah.
see why ACD wins all of them.
Same with Nalam.
I'm
Nalam
not
also
gonna lie.
quietly is in fifth place. Nalam is 18. So it's
Yeah, but I again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Nolan got most of his helis in the early days of the helis, in like 2019, 2020.
kind
And I
of
think,
kind of. So Nalam famously was the biggest loser. For those who don't know, the biggest loser is um, when your win to lose ratio is greater than everyone else's. So back in the day, there was obviously weren't that many awards, so his win to loss ratio
mhm.
doesn't sound as crazy now, but at the time it was. I think he was nominated for thir- like 15 and he won like two. and so that kind of
Mm,
makes it the biggest loser. So, but he got a lot because of uh, D&D, a lot of like the TTRPG
yeah,
ones, and
yeah,
then he always consistently usually has like the best event. I think he has a couple best event ones. Um,
yeah. For Who's That Wednesday?
yeah. So he's kind of spread himself a little bit thinner. Here's a random question. Um, do you think that it is better to have more nominations or less nominations and a few wins? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think it's better to like go in and
Yeah,
just have
if it's better to just nominate a few things you know you'll win, or just go all in on the nominations and whatever you win, you
yeah?
win. Um,
What do you have more respect
so
for?
um, so so the way I give out respect and is when I see people putting in effort. If you put in effort to nominate yourself for 50 categories, you have my full respect. Regardless, if you get nominated for 50 Helis and you end up winning only one of them, you still have my full respect because you put in the effort to be worth considering for 50 different Helis.
That's
That's
crazy.
a lot of Helis in a lot of different topics, and it's just a lot of multitasking
A lot of that.
because you just hop from, oh, I'm gonna draw this to, oh, we've got the TTRPG session coming up to, oh, let's develop a character for an RP to 50 Helis is a lot. And so if you get nominated for so many, then you have my full respect regardless of how many you go on to win. Um, but it's this combination of how much effort you put in versus how it went on to turn out. I think the average is best if you go for like 10 helis and get like four of them. I think that's best because you kind of get to focus on a specific thing and do it well. And then you just go on to win what you were expecting. So,
My
yeah.
favorite is when someone has only posted like 10 times that year and wins something. That's always my favorite. I love when someone like I think to me that's so impressive. Like especially if someone wins like a screenshot or an art
It
piece.
totally is impressive, but
I love that.
like,
They're just like, "Oh, cuz that's pure talent." Like that's just like Sage did that like Sage has a few helis literally just being like, "Oh, here's a thing I drew." And then wins. Oh, Gamma Crucial is really good for that too. He wins all the time, and he literally posts his work
mm,
like 3 times.
yeah,
I love that.
there's a lot of people I haven't seen around too much.
Yep. Okay, make a heli prediction. Doesn't have to do with
Well, I already
nominations.
made it earlier on, so
With
uh,
doesn't
let
have to do with
let
you.
me think of another one. Hmm. Wow, this is tough. Hold up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it I'm trying to make it controversial, just so you
It
can.
doesn't have to be controversial. You can just make a
No,
correct
but
one.
I want to say something that could spark a discussion later on.
Okay.
Like not necessarily controversial, but something that people don't think about, and it could be true. Um, so, um, oh Lord, wait, so, um, this year's best new member shall win at least three other helis.
Interesting, because the best new member winner might be in this chat right now. So, um, which
We're still very early in the
let's
year. We hope for it. We definitely hope for it. We root for it. But we're like 20% of the way into the year. You yourself said that plenty of best new members show up in like July or August. So I think we should just take this with patience
okay,
and we'll see where it goes.
okay, all right.
Maybe
Um,
the new Vietnamese sunshines that only showed up like 2 hours ago could become best new members. Who knows?
I was about to, the next question is, out of everyone who's joined this year so far, who do you think is going to win Best New Member? But have you been paying attention to who's nominated?
Absolutely not. So I'm just gonna go for Sunny, and we're all gonna root for Sunny because
Okay. The front runner is Pilot Jack, who is in chat right now. But I think the front runners so far are Wolf06, Pilot Jack, Corey, K Baird. Those are the front runners so far. But maybe Sunny. Sunny just joined. Maybe Sunny's gonna take over the server. Who knows? Next question. We recently had our Lucifer Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, Amakitten. Say something nice about Amakitten.
um. So
This is
again,
hilarious.
so I think Alma Keaton comes right behind Dio and Fire when it comes to the pillars of who made NHC become what NHC is today. I think um I think it would be a very different server if we wouldn't have had Alma Keaton around.
Yeah. Honestly, we
Like
wouldn't have a server at all.
um I'm not gonna get involved in this because I have no idea how the server was actually created.
Came out of
I'm
Mojang.
not gonna lie, it's I only found out like 2 months ago that Nalum didn't actually create NHC, like clicked on the button to create the server. Because I thought Nalum took care of all the technical stuff.
That's
He
funny.
definitely sounds like the guy who does all the technical stuff around. Um,
You would think.
but yeah, Amakitan, one of the pillars of strength of New House City.
Love it. Do you have any advice for someone who has just joined New Hell City,
Um,
like Pilot Jack and Sunny, who are in chat right now?
like Pilot Jack and Sunny. So, um, my advice is, um, to try and hang around as much as possible. So like whenever you feel like you're bored or you've got nothing to do or you're just fumbling around scrolling through TikTok, just drop by in chat because somebody's gonna be here. I might be here, I might not be here, who knows? Somebody's gonna be here. Um, Try to spark interesting conversations. It's always nice to see somebody come up with some crazy idea or some crazy opinion that just goes on to be discussed for the next 40 minutes and create an entire wall of discussion in chat. It's always nice to see people debating stuff or just merely talking about their lives is also very fun. So, um, don't be shy because there's no reason to be shy. And yeah, just roll with it.
Okay.
Just get comfortable. There's nothing bad that can happen.
What are your goals for this year in New Hell City? Do you have any? Don't be here.
Um, um, it's hard to give goals. Well, I definitely had goals. I can tell you that for free. Um, I definitely had goals.
Don't be here.
It's, the thing is, I still want to be here. I want to make it so that I'm here, but I also don't flop my finals. That's kind of the thing I'm going for right now. So, um, I I just want to be around. Like I would have like the previous years. I want to go for mod ship. I want to apply for mod. I'm gonna tell you. So last summer, I was actually moderator in the biggest Romanian server there is on Discord. They have no less than 175,000 people. I'm gonna repeat that. 175,000 members. And the staff alone is like 300 people.
Wow.
And so I've spent like 3 months as moderator there, kind of like the summer break between school years. And what that experience made me realize is you don't have to be a moderator to make an impact. You don't have to be a moderator for people to just know you as a very important part of a server. You don't have to be a moderator just to say, "Oh, I'm a moderator." First of all, it's very hard work and very you have to be very consistent with it. At least in that server, you couldn't really afford to take like 1 week breaks and stuff. Or you could, but someone would have to fill in for you just because of how many messages would be sent. Here, it's not the same thing because we don't have the same size in terms of the community, but it's still a lot of work to be done. Like, Sayori's been in the latex for the past month and a half, and she's still there. Either for a reason or because you just forgot
What?
to
I
send her
never
out.
forget. I never
Okay,
forget. We just
so
remove that
that
from her right
base
now.
so that basically means so that's what I'm saying. I wanted to be a mod, but this experience in the Romanian server made me realize that being a mod isn't merely as big of a deal as I used to think it was. So my goal is just to um try to be as active as possible given the outer life circumstances. I think that's gonna be it. Oh, and for once, this is something that has been kind of grinding grinding on my mind lately. I think I made like 10 suggestions for the server. All of them got rejected, and I don't think I got like two upvotes in total in all suggestions. So every single suggestion I made was like royally voted down. It was like everybody was like, no, we don't want it. So um I think I'm gonna try and come up with an idea that actually has a chance of going through. I don't know. 'Cause first time it's like fine, maybe it wasn't a good idea. Second time, okay, maybe I should have thought through on that a bit longer. But when you make 10 suggestions and all 10 of them are like absolutely downvoted by everybody, that's when you start questioning things a bit.
All
So
right.
yeah, I'm gonna want to make proper suggestions that could contribute to building the server even more than it's already built. Not that it needs any more helis or channels, because there's a lot of them. For an 800 people server, there's a lot of channels. But yeah, um, Fire, we need a Japanese member.
I've been looking. I don't know. I don't know if they are. I don't think Japan exists. I think Japan is a myth at this point.
Nah, Tokyo isn't real.
I
Those
don't
30 million people, they're just created by
I don't
Musk.
think it's real. They're on a different internet or something. I don't know. All right. Now to fan questions. I don't know if we have any. Pilot Jack is typing right
I mean, this is kind of how last year went, right? I distinctly remember last year for being the only time I had zero members in audience. Like it's not the case
now. Well,
now,
now you have
but
four. There you go.
last year I remember I had zero people in the audience, and I was like, okay, um,
Last place,
sure,
zero members.
zero members, quite literally.
I love
No,
that.
now I'm glad to see that some people are hanging around and actually listening to my despicable voice. I hate my voice
Oh God.
personally. I hate how low it is. I just wish I had a bit higher pitched voice. I think so. I'm not gonna lie to you. I called my grandfather like 2 weeks ago, and the first 5 minutes of the call, I had to explain to him that I wasn't the prime minister calling him to tell him that he's gonna get his retirement money and that it's actually his grandson because he just thought the voice was so low pitched. It was just some government official calling him to give him good news. But yeah, I hate my low pitched voice.
Well,
I don't
Pilot
know
Jack
how to
likes
make
it.
my voice. Hmm?
Pilot Jack likes it.
I have an awesome accent. Thanks for letting me know. Um, I, c- I feel like I have half a Romanian accent and half a British accent because our private school that I go to is very like British focused, and I like our English teachers are genuinely English. Like, there's at least one teacher at any given time in our school that barely speaks any Romanian. And that's one fundamental way to improve in English, at least in my on my side of things, is I just meet up with that teacher on some random recess and we're like, how's life? And we discuss things, but we only discuss them in English because if we were to discuss them in Romanian, they wouldn't understand anything. But yeah, the voice, I don't know how I can make my voice a bit higher pitched because it still feels very low. And it's not just very low. My dad has also pointed this out a lot. I speak very quickly and very like mumbled. I don't really, I'm not really that clear in speech. That said, he kind of got used to it, but I do feel like I sometimes mumble words instead of actually saying them out loud. Um, I don't know how people feel about this, but I can understand what Dad's saying about. Well, when I talk like this, it's just I don't even really move my mouth too much. I just talk and yap and let the words be heard and whatever. But yeah,
Well,
enough yapping about my voice. Let's get on to whatever else this interview is about.
all right, rapid fire. You ready? I
Do I
have.
still hold the record for Rapidest Rapid Fire? I said it on like the first season.
Well,
Do I still have it?
let's see if you have it now. Okay, I think you do.
I have no idea.
All right, here we go. Are you ready?
Do you keep a record of it, or I? Oh, we're just gonna set a new record. Okay,
Yeah, ready?
I'm done.
Here
Um,
we go. What are you terrible at?
everything.
What are you amazing at?
Somehow math.
What's your favorite thing to do?
Chatter.
What's your least favorite thing to do?
Mm, yeah, ironically math.
Do I look gorgeous today?
Yes, you do.
Name something you would set on fire.
Nothing.
You have to pack your stuff up today and live with one Hellion. Who is it?
Say Rory.
You have to switch lives and bodies with one Hellion for a day. Who is it?
Swift.
What Hellion do you want to cook for you?
Swift.
You have to commission a portrait of yourself. Which Hellion do you hire to draw you?
Nolan.
You're commissioning someone to write the story of your life. Who do you get to write your biography?
Also Swift.
Which Hellions are you taking on your zombie apocalypse team?
How many?
As many as you want.
Aaron, Nolan, Swift, Jesse, and CD.
What's your favorite word?
Nothing.
What's your least favorite word?
Everything.
Why are video games so hard?
Because they're just so long.
Why is, it,
Nobody ever thinks about how fast they're gonna end.
why is anime so confusing?
Because there's just way too many episodes.
What is something you're obsessed with that everyone else should be obsessed with too?
Chess.
What noise or sound do you love?
A cat moaning.
What noise or sound do you hate?
Um, humming. Me humming, literally.
What's your favorite smell?
Um, flowers. Even though I'm allergic, but still.
What's your least favorite smell?
Um, that subway smell when you get into a packed subway. Holy hell. No.
What's your favorite curse word?
Is hell a curse word? I have no idea what counts as a curse word.
Sure. What makes your brain tingle?
Hell.
What makes your brain tingle?
Math.
What makes your brain shut down?
Also math.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Translator.
What profession would you not like to attempt?
Probably gardener.
And finally, when you get to hell, what would you like Satan to say to you when you arrive at the fiery gates?
You're here from the colonies, aren't you?
That's good. That's funny. Good job, Caps. You did it. You're in last place again. How'd you do it? Isn't that great? You're awesome. Thank you for yet
Cheers.
another amazing interview.
Thank you to everybody who managed to stand me for Holy hell, it's been an hour. When has it been an hour?
Bitch, you be talking.
What? How?
I'm not.
Bro, an hour just flew by. Holy hell.
I'm not even interviewing you. You were just interviewed yourself. You just talked the whole time. I'm just kidding.
I was just yapping.
I'm not even here. No, congratulations.
I knew weeks before this interview happened. It was just gonna be a yap and you just I can imagine your facial expression on the other side of this conversation, just like, when's this guy gonna stop talking for the love of God?
It's fine. It's fine. Well, I hope that you will be next time I talk to you, you'll be a Heli winner, a two-time Heli winner,
Or a multiple time Ellie winner.
or a multiple-time loser. You know what I mean? Whatever.
No, I'm already multiple time loser fire. It's already established.
It's so good.
But yeah, hopefully next time I'll be in my student dorm in Austria. Maybe for the next interview, I'll get my friends to join, my
Perfect.
student dorm colleagues and whatever, and we can just do
We're gonna
a
kidnap them.
combined kind of interview.
Put them in an NHC. All right, tell the kids bye. I gotta go
Yeah.
shower.
Bye. Good luck with your shower. Bye.